Hello everyone, this is Silk. We bringing you Operation Thunderball Japan Turn 3.4. This video is going to be a little bit longer than some of the others, as we have a few more things to do as Japan today. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing is our technology rolls. Since we already have improved construction at stage 2, we will need to select a new technology to roll for this. We have decided to do large ship construction. And due to the wonders of machine gun and the PBE, we managed to succeed in both heavy armor, to complete that stage 2, and our large ship construction. We have now gone 5 out of 5 on our die rolls for technology this game. By far the best start I've ever had as Japan, which we'll see what happens on turn 7, 8, and 9 when you can move into stage 3 becomes pretty important, but so far this has been a pretty phenomenal start. So there's our technology rolls. For our purchases, we have 20 IPP. We will be spending 19 of those. We have 2 Marines for 8, a Artillery for 4, a Cavalry for 3, and 2 Militia upgrades for 2 each, leaving us with 1 IPP. Now, so as you look at the board here, this is not entirely what I expected. We do have a plan kind of that I've been conducting, and my intention was not to go to war quite this early. However, there was a very specific circumstance I had in mind for what would cause me to go to war on turn 3, and this just happens to be that circumstance. I have a wide open, easy to take territories that I actually get to take for no conflict, and I have a CCP that has not expanded. So Japan is going to go ahead and declare war on China. That is going to have quite a few effects on the game here, so we're going to go ahead and go through those. First things are the economic impact. America, which I've already marked here, receives 5 IPP bonus and goes to an 11 permanent income. Great Britain gains 2, and they go to 16. The FEC gains 2 and goes to 7. Anzac gains 2 and goes to 5. France gains 1 and goes to 10. So that's quite a bit of money that we're handing out to the allies here, but I'm going to make more than that this turn, so that was something I was comfortable with. Now on to the actual combat moves here. We are going to take 1 Marine. He will go on to one of my transports that was in my carrier fleet. That transport will leave P-15. It will come down to P-41. That Marine will invade Hainan and take it unopposed. We will then take transport from P-15. It will go to Rihi down to P-14. Take 2 infantry off of Rihi. It will then go to P-32. It will drop off 1 infantry in Hunan, 1 infantry in Nanking. We will take both of those territories unopposed. We then have a transport in P-15. It will pick up a Marine in off of Kyushu. It will go to P-14. We need to split up these infantry here, so this green chip goes away and becomes 3 more infantry. It will pick up 1 infantry from Rihi. It will drop off 1 infantry in Shangtung, taking Tank Shangtung unopposed. And we'll drop off the Marine in Hopei. We then have a transport in P-15 that will pick up a light armor and a Marine. That transport will go also to P-14. It will drop both the light armor and the Marine into Peking. And then lastly, we have a transport leaving P-15 going to P-14, picking up 2 infantry from Rihi. 1 of those infantry will be dropped off Okay, my mic cut out there for a minute, but I think I got it back going. Hopefully it's not too big of a cut. So we've got 2 militia defending at 2s. We got a cavalry that defends at 2. We've got 2 infantry that defends at 4. So we're going to grab some purple dice here. Alright, here we go. I'm going to roll my 2 fighters and 3 tacticals. These are the ones we want to do most of the work. 1, 2, 3 hits from the planes, although there are no target selects. And then I have 2 at 2, 0 hits, and I have 2 at 1, 0 hits. Not sure I'm going to use those green dice. Let me know if you guys can see these green dice real well. Maybe stop using those. Those look a little hard to read, depending on the glare. I may use the blue ones instead. But that was a 5 and a 10. So the blue ones may be easier to read. Alright, for the bad guys here, they've got 3 dice defending at 2s. 1 hit. And then they've got 2 dice defending at 4s. 0 hits. So I will lose cavalry. They will lose 2 militia and a cavalry from my 3 hits. We will press to round 2. 5 more planes coming at them. And 3 more hits. So that was plenty. We can just roll the mountain and the infantry just to see if we get anything else, but I don't expect much. Perfectly happy with 3 hits. And he has 2 coming back. 7 and 2, so 1 more hit. I lose an infantry. So we take the territory with an infantry and a mountain. And Suyon falls. Peking is a whole bunch of stuff against 3 surrounded infantry. So we have battleship bombarding at 4. We have battle cruiser bombarding at 3. We have a heavy cruiser bombarding at 2. 4, 3, 2. Here we go. We got a 4, a 6, and a 4. So that is 1 hit off the battleship. So that leaves us only 2 infantry left to kill. The light armor does not get to participate yet, but everybody else does. So I have 2 at 2. I have a first strike at 3. I'll then have, 1 at 2. No, 2 at 2. Right. 2 at 2 with a infantry and a motorized. I'll have a first strike at 3, a boosted marine at 3, and then a fighter at 6 against his 2. So here is our first strike at a 3, or not 3, and I want to use these purple here. I'm not sure I like the greens. So there's our infantry. So our infantry and our motorized are here. Our first strike artillery here will be the red. Our boosted marine will be the blue, and our fighter will be the orange. Here we go. Oh, almost had a first strike, but didn't. But got a 2 hit from the plane and a 3 hit from the boosted infantry. So we got our 2 hits. They have 2 hits coming back at me. They would normally be at 4s, but because they're in a surrounded city, it falls to 3s. 0 hits. And Peking falls without casualties. Very pleased about that. Alright, we have some non-combat movements to do. The 18th will simply reform back in Korea. All of the planes will have enough movement to get back there. So all the planes fly back to Korea. The 4 infantry that were in Eastern Manchuria will move to Rihi. The 6th Fleet is actually going to rejoin and move to P14. So the Bombard Fleet, or what I would kind of view as the Bombard Fleet, in its entirety reforms itself in P14. This lone transport was one I had not used in P15. We'll go to, I'm not entirely sure what this sea zone is, but it's the one with the Kuril Islands. So I have a transport off of the Kuril Islands that was in P15. The sub in P41 will go down to P50. The sub in P32 will go down to P41. And we'll go ahead and move the carrier fleet to P32, even though it doesn't have any planes on it. Given that, actually, I'm going to redo just a touch here. I'm going to go ahead and land some of my planes on my carriers. So from Korea, 1, 2, and then 3 to Rihi, 4 to P14, and 5 to P32. So my planes can get to my carriers in P32 in any combination. So we will put 2 tacticals and 1 fighter, I believe. 2, 3, yeah. We'll do 1 tactical and 1 fighter. So I have 5 planes in Korea, 2 tacticals, 3 fighters. And then on the carrier fleet in P32, I have 1 fighter, 1 tactical. And my submarines off the Philippines stay where they are. And that should be all of my combat moves. Alright, we need to place units and collect income. We have 2 Marines, an artillery, a cavalry, and 2 militia upgrades placed. Cavalry goes in Rihi. The 2 militia and the artillery are all placed in Kyushu. We will upgrade this militia in the Kurai. Although I may not be able to do that anymore. There is not a port here, is there? It is gone. According to my map, port here in Kurai Islands is actually gone. My fellow players can confirm that. Given that ruling, I cannot upgrade that militia, so I will have to upgrade a different militia. We will choose the militia here in Okinawa. And given that circumstance, instead of moving this transport to the Kurai Islands, I will move it to Okinawa. I did not realize I could not upgrade that militia. That's a bummer. You need to have supply path when you upgrade any militia, which basically means you at least have to have a minor port to support that supply path. So I, for example, cannot upgrade the militia on the Volcano Islands or the Bonin Islands until such time as I'm willing to build a port there to do so. So that's the first one, and then dear old Okinawa is the second one. Or Formosa, I'm sorry. So to recap, a militia upgrades, the 2 of them. 1 is in Okinawa, 1 is in Formosa, and my transport that I had moved from P15 to the Kuril Islands, I instead move from P15 to Okinawa, if that's alright with my fellow players there. Let me clean up my board just a bit, and we will be just about done here. I don't see anything else that needs moved. We'll do a quick disposition of forces from everybody. In Rihi, I have 4 infantry, 1 My apologies. My mic keeps cutting out on me. May have not charged as much as I thought I had last night. Alright, disposition of forces we're just trying to finish. I've got in Rihe 4 infantry, 1 cav, 1 militia. In Suyan I've got a infantry and a mountain. In Hopei I've got 2 marines. In Suyan I've got a marine and infantry, a light armor, a motorized infantry, and an artillery. In Shangtung I have 1 infantry. In Nanking 1 infantry, Hunan 1 infantry, and in Hainan 1 marine. On the mainland, I just have the 2 marines and the 1 armor that I placed in Kyushu, and my boats are hopefully all in the places you guys expect them to be. All of what was the carrier fleet is in P-32, except for the destroyer that split off to P-41, and all of the 6th fleet is in P-14. The planes, 5 planes are in Korea, 2 tacticals, 3 fighters, and on the carriers I have 1 tactical and 1 fighter. For collect income, Japan has scored, I believe, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Japan goes up 11 income to 27. Due to our wartime bonus, which this is different in V4, we do get to collect our Chinese wartime bonuses while at war with China, unlike in V3. We collect 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gets us a total of 27, plus 5 for China, plus 2 for oil. So 27 plus 5 is 32, plus the 2 is 34, plus the 1 we saved. Japan has 35 IPPs for next turn. As for the KMT, they have a whole lot of forces to change order of here. So KMT collects Qinghai, and Xingkang, and Yunnan, north and south, and Guangdong. I didn't discuss that. When Japan declares war on China, all of the warlords that are adjacent to Shenxi are rolled for. In our particular case, both Suyan and the Hopei Peking warlord both aligned to the CCP. Unfortunately, I killed everything that was there. And then the 1 roll for the Qinghai was a high roll. These were all done via our dice server for the group, and they went KMT. So that is why this is the circumstance that we are looking at. So I'm just going to modify these boards here real quick. Show the KMT having all the territory it now owns. For income, the KMT should be at 3. 2 for Guangdong and 1 for Yunnan. And as you can see, there's going to be a very, very large KMT army for me to deal with. Not something I'm particularly looking forward to, but that was the downside of this particular plan. I might do a video about how I think Japan can interact with China and different approaches to conquering territories, and what round you might attack on, some of the advantages and disadvantages of the different turns and those sorts of things. But that may be later this week if I find the time and the inclination to do so. Grab a mountain and a cav here for Tibet. We will be just about done here. There's my KMT mountain and cav. So this should be what your board looks like at the end of the turn. If anybody has any questions or corrections, just please post them. We'll adjust as best we can. And this is Silk signing off. Everybody have a good day.